Welcome to our monthly podcast. My name is DeMarco Trust. I am a preventive specialist here at the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention, where we provide resources, raise awareness, and educate the community on the dangers of substance misuse. And today we have Brother Reverend Byron Jackson, our FBSS ambassador. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and we're gonna move forward.
My name is Byron Jackson. I am a member of the team here at ASAP as well. I am the FBSS ambassador, but I'm also a local pastor. I pastor at the Greater Thankful Baptist Church here in Anniston, Alabama. And so I'm happy to be here with you today, man. Looking forward to this discussion.
Gotcha, brother. What brings you to ASAP?
ASAP actually created a program that kind of fit perfectly for kind of what I feel my purpose is. It allows me to work with pastors, but it also allows me to put to use my criminal justice degree and background. So the faith-based support specialist program is sort of this brainchild of ASAP, where ASAP noticed a gap between the faith-based community and the mental health fields. So the areas of prevention, treatment, and recovery, right? There's this big gap because of the stigma, because people of faith oftentimes tend to place a stigma on mental illness because a lot of times we wash it up as something that can just be fixed with faith, right? And so noticing that gap, ASAP created this program as a means to seek to bridge the gap between those two. So what the agency actually set out to do was to equip pastors and other faith leaders, not just pastors of Protestant or Christian denominations, but pastors of all faiths, faith leaders, ordained faith leaders of all faiths. The goal is to actually train and equip them with the tools, skills, and resources in order to help them to minister effectively to those dealing with substance use disorder. The goal is to take these pastors who are serving and faith leaders who are serving their communities and their congregations and allow them to participate in reaching people who are dealing with substance use disorder. Because even myself as a pastor, I've had many people in my congregation who I've either heard they were struggling or they've let me know that they were struggling with an addiction of some sort to a substance, right? So I've prayed with them, I've counseled them, but it kind of stopped there, because we don't oftentimes know the resources that are at our disposal. We don't know that there are certified treatment facilities throughout the state of Alabama that can actually help our people. And so what this training seeks to do is to give them those resources, but not only just the resources. We want to give them the skills and the tools as well to know how to communicate with them and also what it's going to take for them to get the help they need and to be able to communicate that to them through somebody that they trust. And that's the key.
And that's the key, definitely. I heard you say that they turn to the church, or they turn to their minister or pastor. How did it make you feel when they turned to you and you didn't have the correct?
Oh man, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Right, because you're called to help these people. Right, that is it's not just your job, it's not just your career field, it's your calling. And out of a sincere desire to help them, you found that you're lacking. And so FBSS steps into that gap, into that lack, and provides a means to a practical outworking to the answers of the prayers that I prayed with them. Right, so I prayed with them, I counsel them, but then historically or in the past, I've sent them back out into the world on their own. But FBSS will also allow me to take my spiritual guidance for them a step further, because they'll be given resources and an opportunity to get help in a practical, professional, and even medical setting.
Man, I can't wait to see the growth of this program.
Absolutely.
Just saying that you are an ambassador, right? And you recruit pastors, correct?
Yes.
What is the feedback that you are receiving from those pastors that you going out and trying to recruit into this FBSS program?
So we received funding from the Ford Foundation, the Foundation for Opioid Response Efforts, to train 240 pastors over the next 2 years. So you break that down, divide that by 8, that's 30 pastors, because we're broken up into 4 regions, from top to the bottom of the state. So the goal is to hit all 4 regions for 2 years. And so you hit it for 2 years straight. That's 30 pastors in each region. Our first FBSS training conference is actually going to be held March 31st and April 1st right here in Oxford at the Civic Center. Please make note of that. And if you're ordained, please register. Yeah. But to answer your question, I think we've seen an overwhelming response in the fact that we, without a website at that time that we started, without great advertising, we've only done that over the past few weeks. We already have 40 pastors and 40 ordained faith leaders of all denominations and multiple faiths who have signed up, because all of them see the immense need for such a program.
That's amazing, man. Just to hear that, I can only imagine the impact that this program is going to have on not just this community, but statewide, because
Absolutely.
It's definitely an issue going on with opioids, with alcohol,
yes,
anything of that nature. It's so
any
easy.
recreational drug, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's so easy to access it these days.
Yes.
Now these days you really don't need money to get it. You just hang around the wrong crowd, and there you go. But having this and putting it in churches, man, that is just amazing, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to turn to the church.
And after studying and research, it was actually found that most people who are in treatment or recovery turn to their faith leaders first while they were dealing with this issue. And so you're absolutely right. It is important that we link the two, that we bridge this gap, because by allowing or equipping churches and faith communities to participate in prevention or even in helping people get the treatment that they need, we can help cut back on this stigma. It's multiple fold, right? We can help cut back on this stigma and do away with the stigma that separates the faith-based community and the mental health field, but we can also help more people get the help they need.
That's good, man. Being an African-American minister, how often do you see this issue in our church, African-American church?
So, just under 7% of African-Americans deal with this kind of issue, and have, let's put it this way, have admitted to this kind of issue. I was doing some research for a sermon series I'm doing at my church, Mental Health March. And we were talking about how on yesterday, 16% of African Americans currently make up 13.6% of the American population, but 16% of African Americans have actually self-admitted. They have admitted themselves that they are suffering with some sort of mental problem. And we know that those kind of issues lead to the desperation that causes substance misuse. And so it's running rampant through our community. And when you go historic, right, and you talk about the separation and the differences between races here in America, you look at the predisposition to certain issues as a result of socioeconomic differences, it's heavy in our community. We saw that even, as far back as the 60s and 70s, right? And we still see that going on today. And so this is another way, because one thing that African Americans are heavy on is their faith. And so if we're able to get our pastors and our church leaders and our faith leaders equipped, it can help people sort of change their thinking about the fact that I can't talk about this because the stigma, but they can also become vulnerable enough through teaching, through learning, and through exposure that they can reach out and cry out for the help they need.
That's amazing, man. For the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention, when we talk about FBSS, how many people in Alabama has been awarded this grant?
Oh, so we were the only ones in the state of Alabama to be awarded this grant, but we're also from the Ford Foundation only one of 11 grants that they granted nationwide, right?
Wow.
So this idea was proposed to that nationwide foundation, and they saw the validity in it, and they're excited about it. In our meetings with them, they are excited and ecstatic about the impact that this program can have through our communities.
Yeah. One more question and we're going to get out of here. Being an FBSS ambassador, what has been your biggest challenge when it comes to recruiting and getting this message out?
Well, actually, I think one of the biggest challenges that we've had is just the lack of availability for the bivocational pastor. Literally, DeMarco, no pastor that I have met with who could clear their schedule to make it has turned it down. No pastor that I have met with. And there have even been pastors who just received the letter and called and signed up, right? Called and registered. And so nobody's turning away from it. We don't have any major hurdles in that area. The main thing is just reaching a lot of the bivocational pastors and them having the availability in their schedule because of their other job to be able to make it to this 2-day conference, because it runs 8:30 to 4 on both a Thursday and a Friday, 2 consecutive days. And so for a bivocational pastor, that can be kind of difficult, but we still want them to get it as well. And so we've had a couple of people who bumped into scheduling conflicts, but the beauty is, with it being held 4 times in the state of Alabama in 2022, that if you can make time in those days, there's really no excuse. We're going to be here at the end of March. The latter part of June will be in Huntsville. We'll be in September. In September, we'll be in Montgomery, and in December, we'll be in Mobile. And so 2 consecutive days, a Thursday and Friday, we can make this happen.
Got you. We're gonna make it happen. He gave y'all the dates. He gave y'all the dates, the times. Now he will tell y'all how do they register.
All right. So our website is actually up. We're in the final touches of that. You can find the FBSS website at fbss.asaprev.com. Once again, fbss.asaprev.com. Or you can also email me or call me. You can email me. It's just my name, Byron A. Jackson, Byron, the letter A as in Apple, Jackson @gmail.com. Or you can reach me on my cell at 256-525-8191. Reach me anytime, call me anytime, email me anytime, and I will do whatever it takes to get you registered.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, thank you, brother Reverend Jackson. We're here today on our monthly podcast.
Absolutely.
We'll be getting these things uploaded more frequently in the near future. But until then, I'll see y'all next time.